Literature. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Today I'll be telling you a story. Taming of the Barista by Samuel Duke Woodhouse I. In order to set the mood, I shall be playing some coffee shop background noises. Let us begin. The sunlight crept through the storefront window, directly into Katharina's eyes. The rays passed over the contents of the small coffee shop, the chairs, the tables, the counter, until they arrived in her reluctant corneas. She let out a disdainful sigh and moved her eyeline out of the beam of light. Katharina had recently taken a job at a local coffee shop to support herself while she looked for work. Katharina had graduated from college in the spring and had yet to find a job in her field. She held out for a job that utilized her degree for a few months, but when fall came, Katharina's standards for employment fell with the leaves. Over the next couple of hours, people filtered in and out of the shop, but it wasn't a busy morning. While Katharina helped a few customers in line, a man wearing a tweed suit and a peculiar fedora walked into the store. He was barely through the door before he started making eye contact with Katharina. He nodded his head and wiggled his eyebrows towards her as he made his way into the line. Katharina chose to ignore him. He eventually moved through the line to his place at the counter, and he said, "Hello there. How are you today?" Katharina flatly responded, "I'm fine. What can I get for you?" "I'm having a great day. Could I have a medium decaf latte and a peach scone, please?" said the man in a sickly sweet tone. Katharina sighed and mutely said, "Okay. What's the name for that order?" "Petruchio," said the man, as he lifted his eyebrows and slightly tipped his head back. "All right," she squinted at him, and then wrote his name on the cup. Petruchio paid for the beverage, and then with a sly smile walked to the edge of the counter. Noticing no one else was in line, Petruchio walked a little closer to Katharina and gave her a cheesy smile. Katharina glared and looked off into the corner. "Hey! I haven't seen you here before, and I'm a bit of a regular," said Petruchio. "Oh, really?" replied Katharina blandly. "Yeah, I normally come here every day and order the same thing, but I've been out of town the last few days." "Wow," said Katharina flatly. "Aren't you going to ask me where I went?" "Nope." Katharina was visibly annoyed. "Ouch," Petruchio said sarcastically in a flirtatious tone. "What was your name again?" Katharina pointed to her name tag without looking at or responding to Petruchio as she continued to work behind the counter. "Oh, I'll call you Kate," said Petruchio with a smirk. Katharina stopped what she was doing and looked Petruchio straight in the face. "My name is Katharina, not Kate. Katharina." "Okay, whatever you say, Kate." Katharina glared at Petruchio and returned to her work. Petruchio was opening his mouth to continue the awkward conversation when Katharina shoved his order into his chest as she gruffly said, "Here's your scone and decaf latte." "Hold up, I didn't order decaf. I wanted it caffeinated," replied Petruchio. "No, you specifically asked for decaf," retorted Katharina. "Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but the customer is always right," added Petruchio with a devious grin. "Fine." Katharina looked as though she could hit Petruchio as she approached the espresso machine to brew him a new drink. Petruchio sipped from the coffee he claimed he didn't order as he watched Katharina make him his second coffee. Katharina made very obvious sounds of extreme annoyance, bordering on rage. Katharina finished making Petruchio's drink and slammed it on the counter in front of him without saying anything. Petruchio glanced at the latte and then said, "I hate to be a bother, but this scone is actually quite burnt." Nearly flying into a rage, Katharina ripped the pastry from his hand and glared at it. "It's perfectly fine. It isn't burnt at all." "I don't know. I just don't think I should have to eat burnt food at my favorite restaurant that I patronize regularly." "You're being ridiculous." "Well, I really didn't want to bring this up considering you just started here, but I feel inclined to help you to be the best employee you can be." Katharina clenched her fist, ready to strike this foolish, aggravating man. "Well, it's just that you spelled my name wrong on the cup." He lifted the cup up containing a nearly completed latte far too close to Katharina's face. Katharina resisted the urge to knock the cup out of his hand and slam his face into the counter. He continued, Petruchio is spelled P-E-T-R-U-C-H-I-O, not P-A-T-R-U-S-H-I-O. He made a point of saying the letters very slowly to sound especially patronizing. Katharina shouted back, You literally have the weirdest name on the planet. How am I supposed to know how to spell it? All right, whatever you say, pretty lady. I'll see you tomorrow, and we can continue to work on your customer service. Before Katharina could respond, he blew her a kiss and strolled out of the shop. For a few moments, Katharina stood in anger, mouth agape, until she noticed there were more customers in line waiting to order. She walked back to the register and fell back into her monotonous minimum wage routine. As she finished her shift, all she could think about was how terrible her life was. Society had kept her from pursuing her dreams. Society forced her to work at this dehumanizing restaurant. And society makes her deal with chauvinistic assholes who think they are God's gift to all women on the planet. If there was a hell, Katharina knew she was in it. So there you have it. A tale of Katharina and Petruchio. What happens next? It's hard to say. We must leave it up to the viewer and the reader. I implore you, investigate this further. Form your own conclusions. Create your own art. Join a community. But for now, thank you for your time.